I'm going to be talking about the Manosphere today. I am tweaking about the Manosphere, and I did watch the documentary, Louis Theroux's documentary. I have spent the entire day cleaning my house, listening to reactions to that film and other Manosphere adjacent content. And I'm like frustrated. I don't know why I'm so frustrated because none of this concerns me. I am married with a child, a homeowner, living the American dream, happy. But the way that the language is coming out in these certain instances is kind of tweaking me out. And I feel like a lot of people's problems, whether you are red-pilled male or decentering men feminist, could be solved if anyone like talked to each other in an earnest way at all. This is clearly not happening, and obviously this is all happening on like social media. So it's like clickbait. Let's whip this up in such a way to either be so negative that it warrants the clicks, or be so hell-bent on our thinking to validate whoever's watching the damn video. You know what I mean? Like I said, I am married with a child. I have a home. I'm kind of I have found myself to be in a traditional role. I do make jokes all the time that I'm a trad cath. Hello, Jesus. But I'm not. At best, I'm a bad cath. And I do like tradition, like the abstract concept of it. But I mean, we live in 2026. I'm a modern woman, okay? I like the notion of submitting, that comes up a lot. Submission, submit. When I think of that word and like the literal application of it, don't love it. Because it doesn't really speak to my heart. But I am very happy to be in somewhat of a traditional role, and I think I could have missed that completely had I not dipped my toe into the Manosphere. I'm frustrated by this documentary because I wasn't, and okay, this is gonna sound stupid. I wasn't familiar with most of those people on the doc, except Fresh and Fit. Those other two dubers, HS Tiki Taki and that other white guy. I'm like, I've never even heard or seen of this person ever in my life. And like, as far as like a woman of my age and how I see the world, I don't think that those were like the best representations of like the Manosphere. Those in my mind are like the extremes. My interpretation of the Manosphere was born out of, well, one, there was that documentary about like men's rights activists, and it was all about like custody battles and all of those things, and that was pretty interesting to me. But also, a lot of this, the Manosphere, was a reaction to the male loneliness epidemic and the notion of incels. That, I guess, as far as women goes, the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. And I just wish they would have, I wish that Louis would have chosen some people that are maybe a little more accessible, that have like kind of normal red pill thoughts, as opposed to like, I'm gunning for a harem of women and women are completely worthless and have no benefit to society and are here to cook clean and suck my bloop. Like, come on now. That's crazy. There are people in the manosphere that more, and this is like something I'm a little more familiar with, just that like, you know, there are gender roles that are natural and native to each gender. And if you don't know what else to do, probably just go ahead and like fall in line with those roles. Do I agree with that 1,000%? No, but it does make sense to me. And there's obviously always going to be outliers to that concept, to that notion. But, you know, just the idea that like 50 plus more percent of the world is worthless and has made no contributions to society whatsoever and can't think clearly, all of that is crazy. Also, I'm like, for claiming that you hate or at a minimum don't respect women, you're really making your whole life about women. Like, you're selling the concept to other men over and over again that women ain't shit and they're only problems and you should just worry about making money and, you know, you get laid, basically. Animal problems. But, you know, I feel so haunted by this thing because actually my life was saved low-key by the manosphere. But I'm thinking more like gentle manosphere, which is just like you need to get with freaking reality. I narrowly escaped a geriatric pregnancy. I had my daughter when I was 34, about to turn 35. And, you know, when I was younger, I thought I had all the time in the world, yada, yada, yada. I always thought that marriage and children was a pedestrian choice because I feel, you know, decently smart. I just had like bigger aspirations for my life, I guess. But I started listening to Jordan Peterson like way back when he was like really popping off. I did his self-authoring program. I saw him speak live, you know, like the whole bit. Now, I mean, you know, COVID really made everything and everyone in that world a little weird. And also like the political landscape got so odd that I definitely like stepped back, but I respect the game. And there's like people that are part of that world and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. You know who I miss? Kevin Samuels. When I think of the manosphere, I think of Kevin Samuels. God rest his soul. Because, you know, I don't know if you're not familiar, like it was this really good looking black dude. He claimed to be a image consultant and he would have these women call in and be like, okay, rate yourself 1 to 10 and you can't say 7, which everyone thinks they're 7. Like if you're not like that girl, you always just think you're 7 because who's going to be like, I'm 5 or below? No one's going to say that. I got a lot of entertainment out of that, but I had to have a very honest, hard conversation with myself. And this was kind of happening simultaneously to me doing Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program, where like, if any of you are familiar with it, I highly doubt that you are. This whole video, you're gonna be like, what the hell? Anyone that knows me is like, what? You know, a lot of the questions are like, okay, what would be the ideal scenario for you 5 years into the future? But then it would also be like, what is your worst case scenario nightmare life that you could have 5 years down the road? And it kind of, all these questions kind of make you, and since you're writing, I mean typing or writing, whatever, like there's something about putting like pen to paper or even typing it out, those answers, that it's so rare to do that it kind of taps into your subconsciousness, that it just literally makes you be honest with yourself. It's very hard to be honest with yourself. I had to be honest with myself because I always thought I was like baddie boss babe. I have my own business. I've had it for 9 years. I'm like, I'm such a freaking badass, bro. Like, I don't need anyone. And I mean, that is still true. Like, I don't need a man. I love my husband. He contributes greatly to my life. But just to like set the scene, I don't, but it makes life worth living. So I had to like really come to terms with the fact that I always thought that marriage and children was a pedestrian choice, because actually what I thought was I was trying to make myself comfortable with the notion that should I not be able to attain either of those things, that I would have to be okay with it. It was a big cope. I was coping for like a long time. So coming to that realization where I'm like, oh no, actually, I mean, the kid bit came later, but I always knew in my heart of hearts that I wanted to find my person, my angel, my spouse. I just wanted to have my freaking ride or die. And to admit that aloud to even yourself means you probably have to do some self-reflection, introspection, make some changes within yourself to make that possible. I'm not saying you have to like go change your whole show, your whole vibe to get those things, but it's just humans are gonna human. Like if you really wanna make it work with somebody, especially in a romantic relationship, especially when the state's involved, a contractual agreement, you better be prepared to have hard conversations, be able to compromise, know when you've messed up, try to make it right, you know, for better, for poor, for richer, for health. You know, the vows, important. So my point in saying any of that is that I have a sick, secret, twisted appreciation for the Manosphere, and I just feel like that documentary was not representative of what it is actually about. Is there an argument to be made that even the notion of that kind of grows and breeds even more dangerous, sinister ideas, and that's what was reflected in that movie? Absolutely yes. Is that what happened? Maybe I've just, now that I like, I got my life, I got exactly what I wanted and made a good life for myself, I definitely stepped away from that type of content. You know who else I fuck with? Coach Corey Wayne. He was making like dating videos for dudes. But something I will never forget that he said, that I say all the time: the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. That's good advice. I don't care. Man, woman, child, Borg. That's good advice. So what is my point? I think that, you know, people like love this notion of like an enemy, or like a spiritual or intellectual enemy. I hate that any of this is happening, because clearly with all of this chaos and drama of women being like, I'm decentering men, and then the red pill guys like, I'm decentering women, the answer's probably somewhere in the middle. It's giving, why don't you decenter yourself? Bars, bro. Decenter yourself. That's actually the best thing about having a child, and the scariest thing, because you are forced to kind of just accept the fact that it's not your show anymore. Your child, your baby, in my case, my daughter, is the center of this house, my world, my husband's world, our world. And hopefully, ideally, he and I are coming together to be strong, get along, set a good example for her, be solid there, and then be able to guide, protect, provide, and love her together. But that's like the coolest thing about having a child, is that it just naturally, for most people, it should decenter yourself. Does that always happen? Absolutely not. Am I even the best at it all the time? My God, there are times certainly when I miss it being the Casey show, but actually it's kind of a secret weird relief. Like at some point you just get sick of yourself. I'm sick of my damn ass self. But anyway, what's my point in any of this? That the Manosphere, that movie, I feel like not representative of. I'm sure there's people in the Manosphere that's like, whoa, that was like way over the top, right? I would hope so. Oh my God. It was like, it was so cringe. The whole time I'm like, all these dudes are dorks. You know what? Like when I think of a man, when I think of a man, that dude's just like protecting, providing, helping his community, building shit, being helpful. Even if that means like around the house, like you're some single weirdo with like multiple baby moms. And it was so funny when that girl, when he asked, was that Myron's girl? And he was like, oh, are you good with like him having multiple wives? And she was like, we'll talk about it later. Like, no, no one's good with that. Oh, Lord, what are we gonna do? I feel so bad. Like, most of my clients are young women. A lot of them are single. A lot of them are younger than me. And it just feels so bleak. Like everyone's experiencing, like certainly Gen Z, but like even I'm a millennial, I'm an elder millennial. I'll be 38 this year. So many people have like arrested development, and in so many ways I do too. Like I've had to fight and claw my way out of being self-focused 100% and like just generally selfish. Like was it the school system? Who did this to me? Who did this to us? I have no idea. I mean, it's always a good idea for any and all people. I mean, there was definitely the point at which, you know, the elder women were like, hey, you know, get your education, get a job, make your own money, because, you know, if you have resources, you don't have to make horrible mistakes or put yourself in precarious situations that tee you up for abuse and degradation, et cetera, et cetera. Like that is good. But like the pendulum swung way too crazy, and there's still that need, want, and desire for people to pair up. But it's never going to happen if it's just like ops. Everyone's an op and nobody gets it. And unless I'm getting completely validated, you're out. It's not decenter women, and it's not decenter men. It's decenter your stupid ass self.